Hi, everybody. This is Thursday, April 30th. This is Refresh Session number 2. I'm Pastor Steve Green. We're talking about overcoming trials, overcoming the difficulties that we encounter in this life. And while we're at it, we're also talking about not creating our own unnecessary difficulties. According to the Bible, we overcome troubles by faith, and therefore we're talking about what faith looks like, how it works. In 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 9 to 10, Paul says, "Therefore we make it our aim, whether present or absent, to be well-pleasing to Him." This is a characteristic of faith. It's what faith does. Faith understands what is going to work and what's going to produce good results, not only in this life, but also in eternity. So Paul says we make it our aim to be well-pleasing to Him. In verse 10, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that each one may receive the things done in the body according to what he has done, whether good or bad." So our lives are judged not according to how good looking we are. Our lives are not judged according to what a wonderful sense of humor that we have, although it's good to have a sense of humor. Our lives are not judged according to how many friends we have or whether everybody likes us or not. Our lives are not judged by how much money we have. Our lives are judged according to whether we have been good or bad. And everything we've done in this life will be reviewed. Every action, every attitude, every word is going to be reviewed as to whether it's good or bad. And really, that's something that we should know, I would think. That would be kind of, in the Christian world, that would be an obvious thing, that this is what counts in this life. Furthermore, it's not my opinion whether I've been good or bad or how good I might have been, or your opinion that counts. It's God's. We read in Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 2, "Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the hearts." So your opinion doesn't count. It is how it appears in God's eyes. And what God counts to be good is what the Bible calls holiness. Let's read 1 Peter 1. We've been using 1 Peter as a manual for overcoming trouble. 1 Peter 1 verse 14, "As obedient children, not conforming yourselves to the former lusts as in your ignorance, but as He who called you is holy, you also be holy in all your conduct. Because it is written, 'Be holy, for I am holy.' And if you call on the Father, who without partiality judges according to each one's work, conduct yourselves throughout the time of your stay here in fear." So we have a limited amount of time here, and we are to conduct ourselves in a manner that's pleasing to Him. We're to conduct ourselves in holiness. We're to do this with this in mind, that we're going to be judged according to this. And this is not a hard life. It's not an unfortunate life. It's not a life that lacks any good thing. It's a life that is filled with the good things of heaven. It produces wonderful results both now in this time, but also, as we've just read, it produces results, rewards in eternity. In Galatians 6, verses 7 and 8, we read this in our last refresh session. "Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. Whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. He that sows to the flesh will of the flesh reap corruption." I was talking about how I was living according to the flesh. I was sowing to the flesh. I didn't know that I was going to experience rot, spoil, and decay in things that mattered a lot to me. It was guaranteed. I was guaranteeing it. A better way to live is the second half of that verse, "But he who sows to the Spirit will of the Spirit reap life everlasting." Everlasting life is the life of God. It's the quality of God's life. It's life that we experience while we're still here on earth, and it's the life that we experience for eternity in heaven. We read in 1 Timothy 4:8, "For bodily exercise profits a little, but godliness is profitable for all things, having promise of the life that now is and of that which is to come." So then, our present holiness, the way we conduct ourselves here on the earth, is profitable in this life. We're blessed because of it. We experience life. We experience abundant life. We overcome trials. Not only do we overcome trials, but we end up stronger, better off because of the trial. We make the devil sorry that he ever thought that he could gain an advantage on us. So it's advantageous for us in this present life. We're talking about our present holiness, but also it's profitable for the life to come. It is the basis for our eternal rewards. Thank you for joining me today for Refresh number 2. Tune in also for Refresh number 3 in a couple of days. Have a great week.